Nosy Neighbors are at the forefront of the Burbs. This is not a remake of the movie. It is a total new iteration of the TV show. Julia Duffy, Tapil Talwalkar. Julia, what do people need to know about this version of the Burbs?
Well, that everybody has a secret, which is the best thing about it. It is a perfect comedy mystery because it's so damn funny, and yet you really do need to know what happens next. I couldn't wait to read the scripts as, you know, they were coming one at a time, because you can't guess. You can't really guess. But there is suspense. There is like a cliffhanger at the end of every episode. That's why I'm glad they're dropping it all at once. You have to binge
so.
it.
You have to. You're just going to be like, and next, and I've missed work because I want to keep watching.
You have to know.
So true, because I like to watch a few episodes to get ready for these junkets, but I was up way past my bedtime to get ready for this. I finished it in one sitting last night, just watching, like you said, you have to find out what happens next. I mean, Kapil, what is it like to be a show where everything you're like, okay, start the next episode. Like, you have to know what's next.
Okay, Trevor, first of all, that makes me so happy because, like, we don't, like, you were one of the first few people to get any sort of feedback from, you know, anybody else but us who has seen it, and to know that, like, that's how you felt about it, like, watching, you know, sometimes you have to just do stuff for your job, but the fact that you, like, sat and watched through all of it, that's how I felt, too, when we got the episodes of, like, you know, sometimes I watch stuff on Men and I'm like, all right, here we go, but I just could not stop. I just found myself so lost in this story, and so I couldn't agree with you more. It is super bingeable. It's like that feeling that you got when, like, those bingeable shows first came onto our radar on streaming networks of, like, we could do this, we could see the whole thing at once. That's the sort of feeling that I got when watching this. So I'm so glad you picked up on that.
Yeah, and my husband and I watch a lot of, we love mysteries, we love murder, and he wants to always wait until they've always all dropped because he can't stand it. And he's afraid he'll forget something. He loves to follow the clues. And so we often will wait until they've all aired. But now people will have it all at once, and they'll be very happy that they do.
Certainly will. I mean, this cast of nosy neighbors, or however you want to call them, it's such a great group of cast. Keke Palmer, Jack Whitehall, both of you, Mark Proksch, Paula Pell, like, what a great group and ensemble. Julia, what was that like, just working alongside all of them in various scenes here and there?
Well, I thought the cast was so incredible. It was so well cast for the characters that how can I say this? I felt very good about myself that I was cast in a character when I saw how well they were casting these people.
She was, I think, like, her dynamic with Mark and Paula is some of my favorite. I think my #1 favorite scene in the whole series is with her, Mark, and Paula when they go approach her because Paula and Mark think they know something about her, and they're trying to get her to, like, get it out of her. And I rewatched that scene probably 10 times with my girlfriend because I'm like, we were dying laughing at how good it was. You guys were so terrific.
Oh, we had so much fun. Then we started a group text, the three of us, and which I said we should take on the road because that in itself was so funny. But we're three characters who are all actually very lonely, and so we hang out together.
Audiences will find out exactly what you both are talking about. But I mean, Kapil, your scenes with Jack Whitehall are so much fun too. The dynamic your characters have, like, there's a history they have that they're not exposing, but who knows what people are going to find out what's happening with these characters. What was that like, building that relationship with him?
Honestly, we played pickleball after work every day. So we would just run this. I know, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, you can ask him about this, and he'll be like, "Yeah, we did it a few times. Yeah, you know, almost every day."
Wow.
Okay, this man was addicted. So we played pickleball, and in between games, you know, we would actually run the scene and come up with, like, funny ideas of how we would go do it the next day. So, you know, just spending time with him, getting an idea of his sense of humor, and him getting an idea of, like, my sort of sensibilities. We were just teeing each other up when it was time to work of, like, oh, I know how Jack is gonna sort of just hit a home run with this. So
It was like they'd been working together forever.
that's really
Because
sweet, Julie, thanks.
they had a lot of scenes, just the two of them, so I hadn't seen any of it until I finally got to see the episodes. And, oh man, that was buddy comedy. That
The
if it was a
Burbs,
movie, they would be doing a 2 and a 3 of them.
It's suspense, but it's so much comedy. The Burbs on Peacock, February 8th. Thank you both so much for your time. The Burbs was a movie in 1989. I will say a couple years before I was born, but I watched it. It's Tom Hanks, but this TV adaptation is so different than that. It's what I love most like about TV shows that adapt this. Celeste Hughey, talk to us, showrunner here. Talk to us about adapting this. It's not a remake of that movie.
Exactly. You know, when I started developing it, I wanted to make sure we had a whole fresh new story, a whole new take, and a whole new characters. But it was important to me to still honor the original DNA of the movie. I cut my teeth in my first show was High Fidelity, where we had a similar situation, kind of beloved IP, a movie and a book. And we always try to find the ways to kind of give a wink and a nod to the original material. So that was really important to me with the Burbs. People love the movie. And so I hope people will watch it and see kind of familiar elements, little Easter eggs that they can catch throughout. So they know it was in good hands and that we love the movie as well.
And we can't really talk about those Easter eggs, those things that people will see, but I want people to see those for themselves. But this cast, I mean, led by Keke Palmer, I mean, this whole ensemble cast is just terrific. What was that process like of casting and getting this just knockout cast for your show?
Oh, it was the best. So Kiki was in my heart to play the lead from the get-go. She was immediately who I saw. I wrote the script with her in mind and was just so excited, and I still can't believe to this day that she's in the show. And then filling out the cast around her, we found these incredible comedic actors who are all beloved in their own way, but who can also really carry the pathos and emotional story as well. And I think everyone was really excited to be able to show their full range, and I'm excited for audiences to see this other side of most of them.
I was just talking with Julia Duffy and Tapil Talwalkar about how I like to watch a couple episodes here to get ready for these junkets, but I could not stop watching this show. There's a cliffhanger at the end of every episode that makes you have to start the next one to find out. I mean, was that something you always had in mind? You previously worked on Dead to Me. I mean, that's kind of similar stance there. Was that what you wanted to do for this show as well?
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you loved it and kept clicking next. No, I'm from the Dead to Me school of twists and turns, so I love kind of keeping the audience on their toes and ready to dig in for the next episode. That was really important to infuse into the show and keep it exciting, but also keeping it grounded with real emotion, but keeping the stakes heightened as we move the story forward.
And we have these 8 episodes. They're all dropping at once on Peacock. Is there any works of possible seasons? Is this a limited series? I mean, we can't spoil the ending, but what's kind of your mastermind plan for the Burbs?
You know, we are hoping for season 2. It's definitely envisioned to be a long-going series, and I have the season 2 all plotted out in my head. So I hope we get, I hope the audience finds it and loves it, and I hope Peacock will give us another season.
I mean, just watching it, I know audiences are going to love this. And like the movie, 1989, Tom Hanks, this was before Forrest Gump, before Toy Story, before all these iconic roles. I mean, has he had any say on, like, has he seen the show? Is he going to watch it? Was there any conversation with him about this?
Well, we were so lucky that he said yes to making a little tiny cameo that I think people will really love on the show. And so that to us is the Tom Hanks blessing. And, you know, I really think he needs to go back to doing comedies. He's so great and he has great slapstick and just great timing. And when I was thinking about who should star in this show, Kiki immediately came to mind because she can carry both comedy and drama just like Tom Hanks and has that like lovable charm that they both have.
It's such a great genre of kind of horror, thriller, comedy that I just love that genre. I mean, is this what you foresee yourself doing after this season, The Burbs, like next shows, but we want more seasons of the Burbs as well?
You know, dramedy has always been my sweet spot. I feel like you can't have good emotional heft without some levity and vice versa. The best comedy comes from dramas. I think Succession and The Sopranos are comedies. Personally, I think they're such funny shows. And so that's always been what I love to write. And just through the years, I've worked on Dead to Me, I've worked on Palm Royale, and like really learned how to kind of build the story off of grounded characters and emotion. And so I would always love to continue doing that.
To me, Paul Royale, The Burbs, Celeste Hughey, just so iconic. Another great show as your repertoire. All 8 episodes, February 8th on Peacock. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for talking to me. I'm glad you liked the show.